chocolate, the cookies, butter crunch, 88, Oshkosh, and blue and white duck, ask the blunt.
Just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want. Be what you want. Sky is the limit, and you know that you keep on. Just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want. Be what you want. Have what you want. Be what you want.
I was ashamed, my crew was lame. I had enough heart for most of them, long as I got stuff for most of them soft. Even when I was wrong, I got my point across. They depicted me the boss. Of course, my orange box cutter make the world go round. Plus I'm fucking bitches ain't my homegirls now. Start stacking, dabbled in crack, gun packing. Nickname Medina, make scenes, took my Nina. From gym class to in-glass, passed off in global. The only nigga with a mobile. Can't you see like total? Getting larger in waist and taste. Ain't no telling where this felon is heading. Just in case, keep a shell at the tip of your melon. Clear the space. Your brain was a terrible thing to waste. 88 on gates, snatch initial nameplates. Smoking splits with niggas. Real life beginning killers. Praying God forgive us for being sinners. Help us out.
Sky is the limit, and you know that you keep on. Just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want. Be what you want. Sky is the limit, and you know that you keep on. Just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want. Be what you want. Have what you want. Be what you want.
After realize.
The views shared on this program are not necessarily the views of DBN, its sponsors, or affiliates. DBN nor the Logic-based collective can be held responsible for anything taken personal when you could have just changed the station to begin with. If you're offended by world-class conversation that will move you to better yourself, you should leave while you have the chance. We're pros, but we're not like pros. In the event that you'd like to sue, we have no money, but if you drop your job's number in the comments, we will call them and let them know that you'll be out on an all-expense-paid vacation into your feelings.
All right, calm down, everyone. Here we go. It is now. It is now 8:50 in the p.m. and we want to welcome you to the Logic-based collective podcast. You guys, you able to hear me? Good. Okay. I'm gonna pretend he shook his head. So today, it's January 15th, 2024.
Right.
It's crazy. 2014 was 10 years ago. That's wild. I feel.
Yo.
Yeah.
Grown. Oh no.
This is not the test run.
Really here.
So we want to thank you for tuning in. We are able to be seen on the Logic-based collective on YouTube. If you're tuning in from DBN, thank you on the app or the YouTube station. Thank you. We appreciate you. And for those tuning in on Soft Spoken Prophet TV, thank y'all also. The weekend has just passed. Long weekend. I feel like the 3-day weekends seem like they're even shorter than the regular ones.
Really
Time just goes by really quick. A lot of nothing could be done, and it's still just like. So we're gonna go around house, figure out how everybody's doing before we get into our subject. Fun, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Yo, I thought you were gonna stop right there. I was like, what?
I thought about it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm tired. I didn't realize how tired I was until maybe like 10, 20 minutes ago. But I'm pressing. Had a decent weekend. Didn't do much that I can recall. Actually, I went to a quinceañera.
Yes, you did.
I did. It was great. The babies are growing up. They're getting big. So that was nice to be a part of. And as I was getting dressed, I had to remember, like, oh, you're the auntie. So, like, the attire is just a little bit different
that
when the
mean?
party's not about you, you know? It's not about me and my
okay.
friends, it's about the kids. You know, so like, oh, you're not going to be on the
How did you
dance
guys
floor.
manage that?
I listen. Luckily, the table was in the corner, and I just watched the kids have fun from a distance. It was nice. It was, like I said, their kids are different now. they, I don't know. They're like, I'm listening to their slang, everything. I was like, man, to be 15 again, was I like this?
Yeah. We were equally as weird to our predecessors.
I was like, oh, you really think you're grown? Oh no.
100%.
Yikes.
Like, do you remember like how much you thought you were like in charge of your
Nah,
own
for real.
destiny while
You're
asking
right.
for a ride simultaneously?
You're on the money with that for sure. Yeah.
And maybe money to fund your plans. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you needed mad help to exist. But you were like, I got it. If you could just give me $20 and a lift,
Yep.
I can really do what I want. I hate that you're stopping me.
Yo, I do recall. So all right, so no shade then, no shade. No, but it was really good to be a part of that and watch her in that moment. So shout out to Miss Ryan and shout out to Alicia. You're doing a fabulous job raising a beautiful young woman. So that was my weekend.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, I think I'll probably, what's the word I'm looking for? Join the squad. I'm tired too. But yeah, no, I've been dragging my feet lately. So,
January be like that though. I feel like.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't know. I think it's just I'll be in my head kind of thing, but I think it's just kind of relaxing, finding time to kind of like reposition, think about some things, kind of like plan everything out. Also, kind of, I mean, it's a busy time. Rebudget, do some things, figure out like, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what I need to work on, kind of thing. So I think I'm in like a planning mode. That I didn't intentionally go into, but I'm here. So just figuring out how to maneuver and what next steps looks like and what I should be doing compared to what I'm doing.
I feel that.
That's right.
But aside from that, everything's good. I can't complain. God is good. Life is good. That's why. I just remembered. Okay. So pray for my brother. My brother's going through it. That's why. Okay. I'm back.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so basically just understanding that life is a journey and we don't always get to choose the stops that we make or when to stop. Life kind of just, we're here now. So understanding that it is a journey and you can make it with love, with people around you to help you. But just knowing where your help comes from, it's huge. Goes miles. So.
Agreed. My turn. My week was cool. I mean, standard working. You know, I won't delve into the personal too much, but I definitely you know, always happy, family's good. Always happy, you know, that whatever clarity is needed to know who's supposed to be in whatever positions in my life has happened. You know, be that for the good or for the bad. It's a beautiful thing to amicably know exactly where we all stand as life changes, you know. Like I thought to you speaking on going to the Quinte and how it's great that you guys are all still like that. But you know, life changes. And you know, like unfortunately every friendship doesn't get to do that. like, you know, when you said, like, you guys are the aunties now,
Yeah.
like, that's great. You know what I mean? And, like, I have some friendships that I'll be able to have that moment. And some I probably thought I would, but I don't.
Gotcha.
And it's cool. But I'm just glad that it's not, like, drama or any, like, ill will. You know, it's funny because a less mature version of myself would think that a more toxic type of ending to those situations gives more clarity because it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when it's all hugs and handshakes and it's not fake and it's real genuine, but you have to genuinely say we're just not what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like it hurts a little more, but it also feels a little better.
It does. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
That's a real. It's a.
Last week, actually. That was last week's topic.
Yeah. No, but more recently, I feel like we were talking about a specific person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, man, that just kind of makes you think, in the way, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like I had one of my best friends from high school. My brother had him over at his church to preach on Friday, and so he let me know. I haven't seen bro in years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, we came. So when I saw him, even after the service, it was still all love. Like we, you know what I mean? Like we just not. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of like not in a bad way. Just like the evolution. Like it's crazy too because, like he's preaching, I'm preaching, my brother preaching, some other guys in our circles. You know what I mean? Like so it's, but it's it's just like, just a kind of a natural progression. Like you just have your like your things going on. Everybody's having like their separate journeys. But it doesn't necessarily take away from from what y'all were. It doesn't change the love, but just like it's not what it was.
Yeah.
I used to think it was so like I don't know like when you look at like I used to look at my dad and think like yo you're never around these people, like how could you feel you're so close to them? And now I see.
Yeah.
Like it's like nah, like life be really busy. Like you look up and half a year goes by.
Yeah.
And then when y'all finally get to talk, y'all are catching up. And that's if y'all get to.
It's gonna be July in a minute.
Quickly. It bees like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did Friday. Went to that service. Saturday's kind of a blur. I think I spent a lot of time waiting to get my haircut. That was probably like the highlight of the day. It kind of altered my entire day, but
It be like that too.
yeah, Sunday church was really good.
Oh, I saw you post on Saturday.
The recital.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you, don't forget to shout out that. He was killing in that club.
Oh yeah, Saturday night. That was Saturday night. My
What recital?
Jason.
Oh, Jason?
My
Oh, the video that you posted. Yeah.
yeah, he's graduating this year, but they're doing like they have a couple weekends that they take to do shows and stuff because it's all like performance arts based, so everybody is able to get together from the school. They put the music together, like they have like the teacher overseeing everything, but it's like them that's responsible for arranging this stuff and playing. So he was on he was on all of the like all the songs for his grade, but he just played different instruments on everything. So like one of the
Killing him.
yeah one of the clips because he plays he was playing the keyboard, and so I got because he doesn't I feel like he's not really done it. Like he doesn't necessarily in church besides after service. So it's like you never really would hear him, but he
Oh no, he's nasty on keys.
Yeah, he did his thing there. He they had I don't even think he took a solo. He played this song like really well. Added motivation. His girlfriend was singing, so but he was like,
okay.
but he was
It's gotta sound
That's
crazy.
smooth.
yeah, he was on drums, killed that. He did. I mean, his main instrument is the bass, but he did some of everything. So that was like that was good. It was just like you kind of like see your kids like doing stuff and like yo, this dude is just like following me around the house, like you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. So
Look at you being your own person.
it's like yeah, man. Like, so yeah, it's I mean it's proud moments. It's exciting for you know what I'm saying like just to to be able to do that, and this is why I try to hammer that message home like yo like y'all got opportunities to do. You know what I'm saying? Like really anything you want to do, like don't it's like I be like me, hopefully in the good ways. Like I'm trying to tell you all the trip ups. You know what I'm saying? Like all the
Right.
all the ways in which you know what I'm saying. Like in which I so hopefully if you mess up, just let it be something that you're not necessarily hearing from me, even though they gonna be hard headed. But but yeah, it's good just because like there was not no cheat code, like there was nothing, it's like all he practiced that stuff. It's not, you know what I mean? Like you don't have like all these people sitting down with him to teach him every single thing that he knows or does. So it's just
That's beautiful.
It's cool to see. I mean, I remember doing shows like he's what I mean, like he's like a lap baby still, like he wasn't even walking yet. So, but yeah, that was so that would be like the highlight of the weekend. Service was really good. It actually went overtime. So, and then Martin Luther King Day. I didn't post like one of those Martin Luther King quotes or do. Like I just feel like that's corny if you don't normally like read. You know what I'm saying? Like I
That's
read.
not your thing.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to see like an anti. I'm not, but it's like yo, I didn't put the I have a dream joint up there. I'm glad to have a day off of work, and you know what I'm saying. And still respect MLK for what it was that he did. I'm just saying like
I've just been kind of letting people enjoy the internet on their own. Like, I haven't been partaking much. Like you know what I mean? Like every now and then I'll open up an app and I'll see a reason to close the app.
Oh,
And then I'll get back to my life and like sometimes there'll be a long enough moment for me to like actually think of something profound.
I think I'm in the same spot.
Get out of there.
Like I haven't been. I've been thinking about it because I'm like I used to like tell everybody happy birthday. Like just
there was a year I was on that and I was like,
like
I'm
$1 million
not doing it.
So like I did it because I'm like, yo, you never know what people are going through, and on top of that, like sometimes I'll see profiles where nobody says it, and I'm like, I feel bad, kind of thing. Like somebody should tell them happy birthday. Let me tell them happy birthday, kind of thing. But I just haven't been looking at my social media like that.
To do it, yeah.
Like I scroll, but like I don't participate in much unless like I see something that like catches my interest or that I'm like moved by kind of thing, or I'll share it or something like that. But like, yeah, social media, like, I'm slowing down with it. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
yeah.
I mean, it depends.
Yeah.
I think for us, okay, I'll say this. For us, it's not the best thing.
Well,
Because,
yeah.
I mean, we actually need to, like,
utilize
it and, incorporate it in building this brand of ours.
Yeah.
True.
But other than that, I mean, I think I also, not even to make the combo on air about that, but I think like, once we have like more things that are actually about what we're doing, then we can just have purposeful posts.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I still don't feel like I need the filler.
Gotcha.
So you know what I mean? Like I'm cool with utilizing it when we need to.
I think I post probably like for I post what I need to post every day, and the consistency of what I'm doing with my channel, and then like the like the stuff that I put on there. But it's like,
I mean, you're almost at 2,000 subscribers, so I'm just saying.
Talk that 2,000.
Right. Obviously, what you're doing is working.
Yo, but it's
consistency.
That, like I'll post that stuff, but then like because I don't have my phone from the time that I walk into work until I get off.
Right,
later.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like. Okay, no.
There we go. We're straight.
I'm like, what?
I feel like you're 40, but you've been going to church for 60 years. Like, where did that song come from?
Nah, it's because my aunt and his uncle like to sing mad old songs.
That makes
Throwbacks.
sense. Like for someone to like
stuff.
just have music that like extends back. Like someone said that to me about my R&B history. I'd be like, yeah, you got a point. Like I listen to mad music that happened before I was alive.
Right. Stuff when my parents were kids.
Yeah, sure.
Right now we gotta go back and listen to all these hymns
Right.
and all this stuff, like, you know, the
And you
songs
gotta
that
play
never
it.
meant nothing to you as a kid, but now in your adulthood you're like, oh man, oh, I guess I really didn't know you, Lord. Like, this- yo, it'd be the slow songs, yo, with my mom I used to ride with her. She used to drop me off at school because my high school was across from where she worked at the time, and she would listen to, Kirk Franklin on God's Property. That album was so fire. But
absolutely, that's
she
one of my
always went to like one of the few slow songs. And I'm like, why do we have to listen to this? More Than I Can Bear.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like every day,
that's a great song,
bro. You get in the car, it's like I've gone down through the fire, but
the rest of the album is fire though. It's like you be like,
it's a ride, but it's a ride to school. Like so, it's not like all the hype songs on there. It was like
that's
it was
not her
dope.
responsibility. You over here trying to get a gym playlist,
right?
Get you for the day for school,
right?
He's trying to hear all of my people say stomp.
She's thinking about real life and bills.
Right,
she's
exactly.
like, he'll never.
And
I promise he won't. I hate these people at work.
I asked her, I was like, why do we have to listen to this all the time? She told me, she said, when you get older, you're going to understand. Like, this song helps me to be able to start the day and all of that. So now, you know what I mean? Like, I listen to it now and be like, before it was like, come on, man. Like now it'd be like, oh God, it's over. like,
open your eyes, you're driving.
I love you, Jesus. Like,
swerving off the road, hands raised,
right? And full out tears, snots running.
The definition of Jesus take the wheel.
It's like, it's like, oh, Kiki Boshande. Oh yeah.
That came in your perspective on your road. That is wild. Imagine everybody was just in the spirit. That's crazy. You'd be like, oh man, let me have respect.
Right. They're slaying the spirit right now. You pull up to somebody out, they done pulled over, they're out of it.
Right.
So we're back.
My bad. What's up, Anna? She says she loves God's Property, More Than I Can Bear, and Love Were Nice. Love is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why I said which slow song. Like those two, those are great.
Yeah, Love is beautiful. Yeah. My wife loves Love.
It's just
there's great arrangements on them too.
Kurt Franklin,
you know what I mean? Like
bees.
Yeah, for sure.
But my bad. I cut you off because we lost audio, so we're back. How do you deal with dream killers?
I mean, for me, like, I don't know, it's weird, but I think, like, when they say, like, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade or whatever the case may be, and I'm just really a firm believer that, like, things, like if your perspective is okay, you can take those things with a grain of salt, and you can filter out what is absolute counterproductive negativity and what is constructive criticism. Because the thing is like, there's some people that are going to be your quote-unquote haters. But there are some people that are going to have some truths that, the people in your corner that are so biased to you may not see.
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes somebody is giving you insight into a blind spot that you may not know. And, like, they're giving you information that you can use to make sure that you don't hit the bump that they're thinking they're getting a little joke off, or they're thinking they're getting a condescending statement off. Like, you'd be like, thank you for that. Now I can use that to make sure I don't end up in that scenario that you think I'm headed for. I wasn't thinking about it before. And I think that's just, like, my spin on positivity going forward in life. Because, like, I'm welcome to feedback because I can handle it, and I can easily decipher what's baseless and what's just nasty. And if it's just nasty, I mean, like, whatever. Like, it's just like anything else. I heard it happened, and I don't care.
So, yeah, I agree. So, like, I'm with the mindset of, as my grandmother would say, eat the fish and spit out the bones. And just understanding, like, there's a benefit to everything. So whether it's, even if it's like negative, like, it shows me what I should do or what I shouldn't do, kind of thing. So just taking everything with a grain of salt, like listening, because, like, even though, like, some people are dream killers and they're doing it just because they feel whatever they feel, there's also some people that are perceived as dream killers that are just trying to look out. And, like, knowing your group and knowing how to be able to take that type of criticism or constructive criticism is going to go a long way. Plus, like, I just went through this yesterday because I was telling my cousin, because he he's talking about streaming and like playing on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever. So I was like, yeah. I'm like, yo. So I was just trying to give him a heads up. I'm like, he was like, yeah, because I'm trying to make a couple extra dollars. And I'm like, yeah, I get you. And he was like, I was like, your easiest way, like, yo, sell plates. Like that's gonna be the fastest way for you to make money because you're a good chef. Like I believe that if you started a food truck, listen, I'll come and give you money. Like you get $100 a week. I'll tell you right now. But also understanding he was like, well, I'm trying to do stuff that's passive. And he was like, that feels like a second job. And I'm like, honestly, like streaming is going to feel like a second job at certain times. Like certain days is going to be tough. And you still got to do what you got to do kind of thing. Yeah. So like, not trying to crush his dreams, but just trying to give him insight. Because I'm like, I've done this a couple times. It all starts off good. However, there's other things that go into it that make it less fun, but
more labor intensive.
Right. So like, but it's worth it at the end of the day. Like it's gonna help. So he took it with a grain of salt. But I'm like, yo, it's just like I get you. Like he's like, yo, I'm just starting out. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Just do what you do. Like you don't gotta do nothing crazy. But just like these are thought processes to have in your mind because it's easy to fall for things that you don't know about.
Right.
Like because you don't know. So it happens. But
and I kind of ended up on the side of being the unintentional dream killer. And it's kind of how the topic even came to mind. I had a very close friend of mine who was, and I don't even know what side of the brain the creatives are associated with, but she was very, is it left? Okay. She's very left-sided in brain. She's a creative, talented, just good at almost anything she does. I don't want to say not book smart, could care less about the technical aspects of things.
The semantics.
She could create,
right.
And that's all she wanted to do. So she had some things that she wanted to pursue and would always think about the end result, but not all the things that were going to have to happen in between. But here I come. Hey, so you want to do this? Great. So I can, show you that this needs to be done, or like, here are some of the things that are gonna have to happen along the way. Yeah. She wasn't having it, and she thought that my input was more like I was trying to deter her, and that put a strain on our relationship. And she felt like I wasn't supportive of the things she wanted to do. And I'm like way past that. Like, I was never, and I think all my friends can attest to this, I could never just be a yes man to the people that I care about. Like, I'm not just going to be like, oh yeah, that's great. Go ahead and do that. Right. Knowing that, there's some knowledge or there's something that I can do to maybe help you along the way, not do it all, but obviously, just be there in support and give you whatever feedback and knowledge that I might have. And it didn't go over well. And that it hurt me, but it hurt her a lot too. And I'm just like, trying to explain, like, I love you. I want these things for you. Right. But I also want to present a realistic viewpoint as well.
If you don't mind me asking, is that a newer situation or an older situation?
It's an older situation. Okay. An older situation with an even older friend. Okay. So yeah, I learned a lot through that situation. I feel like it probably made me pull back a little bit more about being vocal on some of those things. Yeah,
makes sense.
And because that was a very a relationship that had a big impact on my life, and I was honestly just completely dumbfounded when she had presented the idea that, oh, you don't support me, and I'm just like, hold up, that's all I do. Like, that's all I want to do.
So do you find yourself operating from a place of fear now when it comes to giving feedback?
Good question.
That is a good question. Not really. I'm very, very thoughtful of my words, though. When I do give feedback, I'm just like, like you can hear the ponder, and see me in thought mode, because I want to make sure that I'm not, I don't want to.
You don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to. And I mean, what you called it in the beginning is important. Unintentional dream killer.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't think you want to you don't want to inadvertently hurt someone the way you inadvertently hurt someone before, because it wasn't your intention.
Right.
But I think you'll spend, no disrespect to you, but I think you'll spend the rest of your life always making sure, and that's going to be the responsibility of the person that's bringing their ideas to you, to say, hey, can you just be you for me? And actually tell me what you think.
Yeah, and I feel you on that.
Like me, I relate to you on that.
Yeah.
And like going forward and having to like develop tact over time. You know what I mean? And making sure like I'm like, you're never gonna bat 1,000 on things being received the way you intend it.
Yeah.
But trying to get as close to that as possible. Like sometimes people do have to say, hey, just don't try to make it sound nice for me. Just tell me exactly. Tell me exactly what you feel.
Yeah.
Like it.
But it's funny because not that I was never just a uncut, like, blunt person.
No, but brutally honest though.
Even that is nuanced. Like, you can't, like, I've always been a person to just make sure my words weren't harsh.
Yeah.
But that situation in particular made me develop like this whole other level of stuff. Like, you're like almost to the point where you're gonna have to tell me you want my feedback.
When people mean a lot to you, and like those relationships can they can change, and or they can maybe they won't be destroyed, but even the fact that a relationship changed off of something being misconstrued, it makes you unintentionally walk on eggshells going forward, because you don't want to do that again. Like, you don't want to mess up another friendship.
Like, exactly. There's people that you love and care about. You don't want to. And again, this is, like you were talking about earlier, this is somebody I really believed like I was going to the grave with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so.
When you say you were being, like you want them to be realistic, if you're, what do you mean by that? What is that?
So for this specific situation, this specific person, there were a lot of steps that she was trying to skip. And it wasn't going to be good.
But doesn't that, you being a creative person, doesn't that sound very left brain?
Oh,
like,
no,
you know that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like, yo, you, like, it's funny, like, when you described it, I can hear the different, I can hear a right brain person in a room with a left brain person.
Yeah, not
and
arguing.
being like, yo,
easy.
like, you literally, like, yo, you don't mean to, but to them, especially if they're just operating off of, like, pure creativity and the spark of the idea, you're like, yo, you are killing the vibe. You are ruining momentum.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I hear you, but like, yo, if you just set up the LLC, you'll be straight when you actually do it.
All
you know
of
what I mean?
that.
Like, it be
All of that,
like,
yes.
it's like, yo, and that's the thing. Like, I think on a day that I'm not in mode and I'm not in the middle of like writing the rhyme or in the middle of like composing whatever it is, like that feedback will be so key, because it's like, yo, now how about this business talk before
Timing
you
makes
put
a
it out
difference.
to the world,
Yeah.
because I want you to get the most out of what you did and what you did, like, so that's where that tact comes in, where you're like talking to me, you're like, yo, what you're doing is so beautiful that I want you to get the most out of it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you say
Right.
it like that, they're like, oh, there's so much love there. They care about. Because, like, you know what I mean? I hate to say it, but artists are mad possessive over their creation.
I think that's
As you
huge.
should be.
I think that's huge what you just said, because I never thought about it that way. Like, timing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
basically, just like not saying, like knowing when to say, yo,
Yeah.
all right, let's think about like, because
And,
like,
and the funny thing is, as passionate as you are about the idea,
right.
your friend that you're telling is just as passionate about their feedback.
Hyping
Like
you up.
she's mad happy for the friend in this example, and
Right.
she's like, "Oh my God, that would be great. You know what you got to do? You got to do this." And you're just like hearing all this administrative talk. And you're like, "Yo, stop, shut up,
Right,
shut up,
right,
shut up."
right.
And you're like, "Yo, I'm just saying, like maybe I could like even crunch the books for you while I'm over here while you're doing all that
It's
cool
almost
stuff."
like you were there. Yeah, like,
No, it's
'Cause
literally
you-
like it's a constant fight.
Because while you in the middle of it, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out TW, by the way.
I was gonna
Said what
give
up,
him a
yo?
My man, enjoy
What's-
that vacay, sir.
Yeah, Mexico looking mighty fine right about now. It's about 18 degrees here. So, but yeah, I think like right when you're in the midst of having that, like those good ideas, if you share it with somebody, I feel like it probably is the wrong thing to come with all the logistics and like the just you know what I mean, like because it's like
so
yo,
well intentioned
like
on
yo,
your part.
I'm having such a good idea, which is spawning other good ideas in my
Yes.
mind. I'm too busy being creative, and now that you're adding this other stuff, you're overwhelming me. And
I literally like not knowing who that person is. I pray that they came into a place of more maturity to be able to see
Listen.
the error in that because it's
eliminated me and excelled. And
For real?
I really do believe that it was a me thing because everything that I said, she did. You know what I mean? And is going forward and doing very well.
and that sucks. Not sucks because you want her to do well off rip. So that's amazing. But like to see someone be able to progress with your feedback, it's like literally the opposite of don't shoot the messenger. It's like, yo, I'll take the message from you, but you take the bullet in return.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's wild.
and I'm gonna be great with this. You know what I mean? Like,
Shout out Anna. Anna said, if you are strong, you can give counsel to them. One must be confident in what you believe and keep it going.
Thank you, Ayana.
yo, so I think even just like what KJ was saying, like I mean I don't. It's like because maybe you look at it like yo, oh man, like she. Like, you know, now that I'm not in your life, like you start making these strides. You know what I mean? Like but that is not again the creative person, and then you have the person that they tell, and maybe like that might not even be something that you're into in that way, but you know that the organization is going to be key.
Yeah.
And it's like you do need somebody to be there for that, but I think like he was saying, it's like a timing, it's like a timing type of thing.
So
There's got to be
this just popped into my head. As a note to any of my unintentional dream killers out there, I would say going forward, let us all, because I am a person that like I will get in the way of my friends that are creative if I'm having a right brain day and they're in the middle of an idea and I'm thinking like, oh, how can I improve? Because I might have like my marketing hat on,
Right,
and I'm
right.
thinking like, oh man, like yo, how can we facilitate your idea?
Yeah.
And it's like actually they're in the middle of the creative.
Right.
You know what I mean? So while they're in the middle of the creative, please, guys, just so that we can avoid any things lost in translation, grab your phone, go to NoDap, and all the good things that you want to add, write it down.
That's a great idea.
That's dope.
Write it down, and then just be like, yo, that sounds fire. And I think I have some things that may be able to help whenever you're ready to add some administrative stuff to it. I'm gonna write some notes
I
from what
got you.
came to my head, so I don't get in the way. Keep that thing going.
What I'm hearing is knowing when to shut up.
Yes.
Save
And I mean, it
go a
comes
long
with
way.
growing up, man. We
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
because it's like, yo, just because what you're saying is right doesn't mean it's right for now.
The right
Right.
time.
Yeah.
I got you.
But I think, yo, especially from people from places like ours, like, when you're a creative and you're from a small, like a small place, a lot of people do have small-minded mentality. Like, there's just, you know what I mean? Like, they're not so they're not even thinking like necessarily on the same level as you. And I think that we feel, and I'm seeing like us being from here, but I know that it applies to so many more people from these small towns.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, you have to be able to differentiate between people that are, that really just don't get your vision, and then people that want to see you succeed. And so they're saying, like whatever it is, like, I feel like a lot of the ideas, like we could have ideas between the both of us. It's like, yo, I'm just, I'm just gonna do it. I don't know nothing about this, but you know what I'm saying? Well, I have this creative idea. I'm like in a place like New York, like, yo, they just kind of get it done.
Do it,
like
yeah.
you tell your man, he'd be like, yo, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's like that here. You know what I mean? Like, but they're also in a place where you can sort of do that and be able to have
Stuff's
maybe
happening.
like some OJT. You get that on the job training because all of that stuff is accessible. Like here from Springfield, Mass, it's like, yo, like, so now like you have to be smart about all of that stuff, and it's like you're not ready to hear it all of the time. It's like, yo, okay, well, I know that I need, like, today is a creative day. Tomorrow, maybe I'm thinking about, okay, what equipment do I need to make this happen? Like, what's the, you know what I mean? Like, what can I afford? Like, what, now, what's like the business? Like, okay, like, how do I go about obtaining an EIN number in an LLC? You know what I mean? Like, so it can.
And it sucks. I mean, I forgot the analogy. Like, you can you can go. I think it's like you can go further with a team, but you'll go slower alone, or whatever the case may be. It's like, you gotta think about it. Like, if you have to have a day when you could be a creative, then a day when you put on the marketing hat, then a day when you put on the administrative hat, then a day when you put on, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's
So
gonna
moving.
take longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're doing every single department of a company, as opposed to like.
And then sometimes you just have stuff that you don't want to do.
Right.
I have like 35 creative days in a row.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, yo, I know that I got to get on the business stuff. I don't want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? So it is important to have what you're talking about, like an established.
I mean, and it's not easy to get.
Nope.
I mean, you have to, but I mean that's where it's like, are you being observant? Are you vetting the people that are around you? You know what I mean? Like, you have to see the value of others in them. You have to appreciate it too, because I mean, like I'll hear something like you just said and be like, oh, that's great. I need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's also me being 38 years old. Like being a creative that's 38 versus being a creative that's in their earlier 20s.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, like you're messing me up. Versus, oh, that'd be great. Like, I could, like, everything I'm telling you right now that could have transpired in the conversation with you and that friend, I can tell you that while I'm in the middle of creative mode.
Yeah.
Like, I could be like, yo, that's fire, but not right this second, because I'm still, like, in momentum. I can say that, and there won't be no shade. Like, I'll be like, yo, just write all that down. We're going to get right to that right after.
Right. And I was just going to say real quick that, like, even the addition of AJ, like, I remember this AJ, like, with the setup and just watching him do the entire setup and the connecting and all that. And it's just like, oh, okay, don't know anything about that. But then, like, being able to have that person who...
Production matters.
Oh, my gosh. Like, it makes such a
Production
huge
matters.
difference because it's allowed you to be able to do more, to contribute more on the other end of things. And then you have this expert guy over here. Like, I kid you not, though. I don't know what you are, but you contributed in like just a huge way
100%.
to what this is.
Semi-professional.
Absolutely. You'll
We appreciate you.
Read that comment.
From Chef Meggs, right? What up, Chef? Crabs in a barrel mentality is cultivated in small towns because of limited resources and limited thinking. Even with social media opening new avenues.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, like from here, it's like, all right, so maybe I'm like, yo, I think I can make it big. It's like, people don't be wanting you to be disappointed, but they do it to the point where they kind of discourage your, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just like the fervor that you have, or like the zeal that you have to kind of move forward. So it's like, all right, well, maybe it's meant for me to be at a place where, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a household name. But before getting to that place, it's so many people telling you, you gotta, like temper your excitement, like curb this, curb. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it's hard, especially younger 20s. You're trying to sift all that out. Like, yo, my kid is like, all right, so Jace, fire musician, great, a lot of ideas. Like I know a lot of foundational stuff to tell him, bless you, but I have to say it at a certain time. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be, and then like even like his regular life stuff and how that plays into what he's able to do. So it's like, all right, well, now you're grown. Like, you need a license, you need a car. You know what I mean? Like, this is because now it's like you don't have to depend on me to be able to go and do these musical things. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's gonna help you now. Okay, well, like you don't necessarily want to do this schoolwork, but like, if you just take the semester to be able to knock that out, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to worry about it again, and you can do more of what you want, and you know what I mean? Like, so like bigger picture. So you know what I mean? Like, but I know that they're gonna be certain times when he's able to receive that, and the way that I'm saying what it is that I'm saying, and it not sounding necessarily like I'm fussing all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and just saying like, hey man, this is, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm really proud of you. This is where I see that you can go. I don't want for you to do nothing to, to spoil your greatness. These are the moves that I think that you should make, because some of this stuff I wasn't able to do because I had more responsibility than you did at this age. So now, like, you can do that and be able to go and do whatever you want. My greatest desire is for all of them to be able to, feed themselves and not be homeless. I can die in peace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a win.
That's for real. So it's like, I'm only trying to set up these situations where you don't have to depend on nobody, where you're not going to be, I've lived the life of a starving artist. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want for you to have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but like I said, it's only gonna, so it's like, I don't want to spoil what you want to do at all. I think that you can do all that. I think just because you're from here doesn't necessarily mean that, that you're going to be stuck here. But I think, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be in the mindset of not necessarily skipping steps. Like, it would be great if, you know what I'm saying? Like, if whoever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who's big. I was gonna say somebody that's dead, but so like, who, you know what I mean? Like set like some big artist coming and just see.
Let's say Maverick City just seen a clip of him like playing the bass.
That could happen, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but more than likely you're gonna have to take the stairs. So just prepare yourself to take the stairs, and then if the elevator dings, you can hop on. Like,
true.
It's a fact.
But yeah, no, going back to the whole the crabs in a barrel mentality, I think that also stems from people feeling like there's only so many limited spots. Like, success isn't available for everybody,
especially us.
Right. Especially black people.
Talking about the blacks.
Yep. Especially black people. That's it kind of tags back to another episode that we had, that my success doesn't mean your failure, or your failure doesn't mean my success.
But if we're gonna be honest, are they wrong?
Are they wrong? So I don't want to say yes, only because I think, all right, if we're all competing for the same spot, then yes. Or no, if we're all competing for the same spot. But I think there's so many things that are happening, even in Springfield. There's mad people. There's mad talent. Like, we just don't know it. We look at everybody else's competition. So, like, if we all rap, like, Wu-Tang Clan is like 30 members strong. Like,
how many times that work?
Doesn't work that often. I will agree to that.
Well, I think it depends on what you so maybe like if your aspiration is to be a superstar, that's a space that not very many people get to be in. However, if we're talking about being able to do something that you love and to be able to live and survive well off of that, I think that's also a win. We just never look at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if it's like, all right, well, if I'm able to do 3 shows a week anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, in every places that I want to go, it like at a minimum of that, and be able to do that and live my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm playing instruments for a living. Or I'm singing, or I'm doing whatever.
We also...
Like, that is success. Well, I also know, like, when you get there, you have other opportunities to maybe elevate yourself. But maybe, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Everybody's not going to necessarily, like, see their name in lights. We just don't know who those people are, though.
Right.
Which is why it's like, you know, it's important to not kill those dreams. I don't know how many people would have said to Barack Obama, like, you'll never be president, Joe. Like, you're tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's, I mean, and although he's one literally out of like 16 million, like, but it's, you know what I mean? But the fact that it's possible is like, yo, you know, just like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. It's like, so you're saying there's a chance.
Right. But no, so like what I was gonna get to is that like, yes, some people are competing for the same spot, so I understand. But others, like, there's mad stuff that we could collaborate with and succeed with. For instance, Destiny's Child blew up. Not all the original Destiny's Child members made it. However, the people that did make it to the Destiny's Child that went platinum and all that good stuff before Beyonce went solo, successful. The people that were a part of Wu-Tang Clan, successful. Like, they're not as successful as Method Man. Like, but still successful. Leaders of the new school, I can't name you anybody other than Busta Rhymes right now. But at one point, they were all successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we collaborate, and it doesn't have to be like we all, like, because we're thinking of music, but like, all right, so what if we start thinking about not only just the music aspect of it, not only just the people that are writing the verses, but production for producers. Yeah. Or if we start thinking about the people that are making the beats, what if we start thinking about cinematography so we can start making our own music videos? Like, there's so many different branches that we could collaborate, and you could essentially put somebody on if we all work together. Because they might be like, all right, everybody work together, Destiny's Children. Everybody worked together for this, but the cinematographer was dope, right? Not a cinematographer blows up, but the cinematographer remembers, yo, I came from this. I only got this shot because of whoever, you know what I'm saying? So then they're like, yo, not to say everybody does it, because not everybody does it, but they're like, yo, give my bro or give my sis so-and-so a shot. They're really good, whatever. They plug whoever. Like, we could essentially put Springfield on the map by collaborating, and that's the issue. The issue is that we typically see each other as competition, and we don't all have to be competition. Some of us are going to be competition. I'm not going to lie to you.
But not only that, it's people generally, because it's not everybody, but people want to be the
star,
like the person.
Everybody wants to be
like
Beyonce.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Justin
they
Timberlake.
Want to be in that, like, and, you know what I'm saying? But it deters people from being able to work together in that way. There's like people that you could see that they're, even when they're supposed to be teamed up, like, they're generally feeling a way about somebody else's success. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know, I feel like it's tough because if you've been in that struggling point, you don't really want for anybody else to have to go through that. So it's like, yo, if we're all, you know, if we're working together and you make it, like, that's really dope. It also encourages me because it's like, yo, well, he's from here, and he was able to do it, and I was able to contribute in some way. I don't need your success. I just want to be able to, you know, to do what it is that I want to do. Whether that comes from me like pulling inspiration from that, or if it just comes because I was part of the team. But it's like, you know, people, you know, like they want to be the guy or that, or, you know, they want to be the girl to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that kind of, like, I'm just saying, like, that kind of closes that off, because it'd be crazy, like, when you have somebody that's successful, and then there's people there that have known them for years that, you know what I'm saying, like, that are not a part of the crowd in terms of like smiling faces, or they have to fake like they're happy for you even though like they feel away on the inside. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't feel, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to know that people people aren't really like that.
I think that comes with territory though, because you're always gonna be the villain in somebody's story. Like at the end of the day, and like you know, you can't control how other people feel about the moves that you're making. So I mean, like, you got to think, in a world where, like, you know, you really start being able to push forward on the content creation so much that you're monetizing to the point that you're no longer working. There is going to be someone way back when that's going to be like, yo, I remember, like, yo, he inboxed me about the fact that he wanted to do a podcast before the pandemic. And they're not going to be, and they're not going to tell the part of the story of you coming here week in, week out for $0.
True.
Or actually for $- because you were paying to be here doing it for less than 100 views. Like, they're not going to tell that part of the story. They're going to tell, like, yo, he did this, and now his podcast is really burgeoning and creating a revenue stream where it could be his job. It's like, yo, bro, there's a lot in between.
Yeah.
Right.
When it's really just a tale of perseverance.
Well, that's the whole you wasn't with me shooting in the gym type of stuff. Right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take patience. Like, even like the biopics that we've seen, like, will show you. Like, if you watch the Wu-Tang joint on Hulu, same thing. Like, it took some time. Like, it just didn't get on. Like, stuff happened. Like, and you gotta cultivate it. You gotta figure out what works, what doesn't work, X, Y, and Z. And not everybody's gonna agree, even though we're all pushing towards success. Like, the mindset is we all want to be successful, but everybody wants to be Michael Jackson. Nobody wants to be Tito.
But in reality, Tito.
Sorry.
Wow. The way, paging Jermaine Jackson. Like, yo,
Why did
you have a
do what you did?
you have a fan in Springfield, man.
But
Yo,
nah, like, for real, like, no, everybody wants to be Jay-Z. Nobody wants to be Memphis Bleak. Like, it's the truth of the matter is, like, yo, there's going to be people that are more successful than us.
like that's
Even. But my fault. Let me read Chef Meg's comments. She said AJ's right. I think she's talking about me. It's a thought of limited spots because of the local celebrity stigma, and then that's insecurity. If they're worried about someone outshining them, it's mind blowing the amount of extremely talented, insecure people in the world.
for real.
Yeah, and they're the ones not encouraging sponsorship and endorsements, respectfully. So
Listen,
basically, but that's just how you support. Like,
Yo, I'm gonna be real. Like,
go ahead.
Keep it real with y'all. Listen, there was somebody. Nah, I'm not gonna say his name either because we're in a pretty good place. He never apologized for this, but it's okay. When I had expressed interest in, I didn't know nothing about cameras, nothing about like lighting, none of that stuff. And so I was like kind of just inquiring about the, equipment and stuff because I wanted to be able to like do my own. This is back in 2016. And I was, like just wanting to do some stuff, some scripted stuff. And some podcast stuff, and is even before people were really on that wave. And so this dude, because he had a knowledge of the stuff, he was like in the the equipment that he was getting, he could afford to do like those things. And so I just asked like what it like, yo, if I'm starting out, what should I get? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are some of the things that I would need just to be able to start out, you know what I mean? Like as a base for things to have, so I don't have to depend on others so much. And he told me to buy some pots and pans.
Bruh.
Like, he said, yo, word up. He said, yo, there's not a lot of money, there's not a lot of money in that. Whatever. I think, like you'd be better off, like, buying some pots and pans or like, learn how to cook. If you cooking, like you could sell, like you could sell food, blah, blah, blah.
He just told someone.
He was like, yo.
I did.
Yo.
I did, but it wasn't me.
But he said,
He's not talking about me.
No, not him.
But my cousin is planning on a food truck.
But I don't, bro, I'm a dad. I can cook what I cook. Like, yo, But he was like, yo, to switch it to that, he literally told me to go buy pots and pans, to not waste my money. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and to do that. So
How,
so go ahead.
okay. Follow-up question. I know you said he had know-how and he had equipment.
Yep.
Was he selling the service?
So was he competition? Is what you asking?
Well, okay, he wasn't.
This is where I'm getting like.
Yeah, he wasn't doing the same thing that I was. I actually contacted him and paid him to shoot this pilot. That you know what I'm saying that I was working on. So he was. So yeah. But before I asked him, because he's a photographer, so he'd never really done that before. So when I asked him, and I had my script written out, all this stuff. He was like, oh cool, all right. So when we were having that conversation, because I'm like looking toward the future, like yo, I want to do more of this, and like that was what he told me to do. Literally, I'll never forget that conversation because I look back on it and laugh, not with bitterness, but I'm like, dang, this nigga really told me like to go buy some pots and pans, Joe. Like I ain't nobody like this, or that it couldn't happen. And so
there's so many ways that a person can do what he did. I mean, that's one way. There's the other way where it sounds like they're like giving you good feedback, but they're just like intimidating you. Like they won't tell you the first camera they got. Like, they'll tell you like, yo, you can't do it without this $5,000.
Yeah,
you'd be like $5,000. Like and like they'll sticker shock you out of even starting.
Yeah,
like I've heard that.
So that's what happened
from like places with studio time and stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh well. Or you could come here for the low price of and like you could just like cop the service.
Nah, that's what I just told my cousin because
when he priced out.
When I told him about cooking, I'm like, yo, you don't gotta buy this expensive stuff because he was talking about streaming. I'm like, I know he's planning on starting a food truck, so that's why I'm like, yo, you can cook. I wasn't telling him like, yo,
that was just funny.
Yeah. it's even when you said it, that like I
that's
thought
what
that.
came in your head.
But
yeah, bad.
I mean, but it was at least it was relevant to your, to who you were talking to.
I told my cousin, I'm like, yo, you don't gotta get nothing expensive. You get like a webcam for like $20 to $40. Like, it doesn't. My thing about it is, I'm not trying to gatekeep. Like,
yeah,
I don't think there's a limited number of spots. Matter of fact, I do think there's a limited number of spots, but I don't think the number is as limited to the small amount that's in my head. So, like, everybody, there's a such thing as one-hit wonders. There's people that, like, all right, who came out with, like, a fire album? B.O.B. Did B.O.B. ever make up a second album?
I don't know.
Or he was just dope for that one album, that was it. Like
that's really all you need, though.
Right, I was saying, like, Joe Budden.
Well, that's what I was going to say. She's capitalized on that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't. Listen, Eminem line, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. Like, pause. But the point of the matter is, like, I don't think that, like, all right, if I'm going to have this huge thing and I believe in something that I'm trying to strive for, I don't think whatever you make that, even if you copy my idea, it imitates it, I don't think you can compete with it. That's just me, but that's my mindset from a competitor standpoint, because like that's how basketball players think, that's how comedians think. Like, all right, like you're dope, but you're not better than me, or I have a different target audience.
Yo, you remember the movie You Got Served?
Of course.
And remember, like, dude walked in and they thought that was their man's, and like he went dirty. To the other side.
Yeah, that was dirty.
And he did exactly what they were gonna do.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, so, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to sit here and act like there's room for everybody. Like, sometimes somebody could steal your IP and you get beat up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're going to have this conversation, we have to be realistic about the fact that sometimes there are limited spots and things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so many jobs in the NBA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of kids out here running around that swear that's them, but I think that we're doing people a disservice if we don't explain how much hard work and how much striving it takes to actually, like, be that cream that rises to the top. Like, you're not necessarily being a dream killer that, like, add a dose of reality into somebody's pursuit, because you actually want them to get where they're going.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, when you talk about gaming, like okay, unless it completely niches down to something that makes him specific, he is going to be one of a lot of gamers that are on streaming.
So what
Like,
I
you know
told
what
him,
I mean?
yeah,
So-
nah, he's definitely gonna be one of many. He streams sports games too, which is gonna be hard. But what I told him, I was like, yo, because him and his brother play in tournament, or his brother plays in tournaments. I'm like, yo, join the tournament. I'm like, yo, because if your name's high enough on the leaderboard, people are gonna watch you just strictly off of the fact that you're on the leaderboard. Like I'm like, this is the way to get exposure. So like because I understand business. So I'm like, all right, I get business, I get marketing. Like that's how I kind of push things. Like I get the logistics side. Like my creative side it pops out when it wants to. But business, I know. Money.
I think he should document his journey.
That would be dope too.
Because, like, if he has any sort of vlogging to be able to do, even if it's just off of his phone or whatever the case may be, like, when you're talking about niching something down and merging audiences, like, how many chefs are actually trying the game? Like, that's capitalizing on what makes you you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I was him, like, he should like actually like film the fact that he's about to like go to the grocery store and spend $100, and he's gonna turn that $100 into $300, and that $300 is gonna take him to GameStop, and then he's gonna go buy a camera, and then it's gonna be the camera that he's gonna vlog. Like that's a whole story that people fall in love with.
Right,
you know what I mean? And like documents the whole journey.
That's dope.
Like that's what I would do.
So yeah, I think,
And that's free.
that
I charge niggas for stuff like
and
that.
I agree. I agree. I agree with the dose, with the dose reality, like I said. But I think that it matters what spirit is done in.
Absolutely.
I feel like it matters like the way that because, again, you talked about earlier just having tact.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, now it's like, because I should know that if you're saying this thing that is coming from a place of love, however, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
No
you gotta know
disrespect
when to
what you're
talk to me
saying,
and how
because
to
you're
talk to me.
right. But some people may just be like at the end of the day, criticism, like, you know how we talk about constructive criticism?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of on you to construct from the criticism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, like, I could say what I just said to your cousin, who I don't know.
Right.
And it could be a great idea.
Right.
And it could be like, that nigga's hating.
True.
Because it's not coming from a place of love. I don't know that nigga to love him. No disrespect.
Right,
So
right.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that, like, you don't know the source of a good idea. Like, that idea could help you. You know what I'm saying? Or you
Right.
could be mad at the person that sent the idea, just like somebody got mad at Siobhan.
Right.
Like, it's like you still take the idea and you still get mad because you just don't want to hear it if it didn't come out of your own head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to be willing to be receptive to however the universe drops an idea in your lap.
I got you.
So, and I
There's a lot of arrogant creators.
sure.
That can't deal with the idea, factoring in ideas that came from outside of their own head.
No, I'm hearing kind
I've
of.
been there when I was younger.
But we're as a creator, like you were saying too earlier, though, is that creators are sensitive about their work a lot of times,
100%.
and I think you know what I mean. Like, so also on top of on being able to take that from people, you have to also be able to like protect yourself from that, just in a way. One thing we think about when people say false prophets, we always think about people that's pretending to prophesy, or they're like they say things that they hear people say on TV and stuff like that. But the reality is that everybody is not allowed to speak into my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to accept what you say because you're not the prophet over my life. I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like what I say it is, and you know what I mean. And I'll take it from I'll take the criticism from those whom I deem are not dream killers to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe somebody, and that means maybe somebody does have an idea but you know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to filter that through. Everybody's not hating on you, but also I'm going to get to where I'm going to get regardless of what you think about it or how you think it should be done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in trying just to get to that space, because I feel like, we want to be like that 100% of the time, and the reality is that's not always our attitude. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you're working toward it. But just I'm saying, keep everybody is not allowed to speak into my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who it is that you are. If I don't trust you spiritually, I don't care if you're TD Jakes. Like, you are not allowed to do that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just one of those things. We got to. Yeah.
I wasn't going to go there.
I love TD Jakes, man. We're not going. But I'm just saying because he's known. But it's like, yo, people, you know, like people really. So I'm just saying, like, you know, because what do prophets do? Like, you think about, you know, like the prophets in the Bible, like the Lord respected their word. He did what, you know what I'm saying? It could be like, yo, God didn't tell Elijah to say it wasn't going to rain when he said that the heaven. He said it and the Lord honored it. It's like, yo, bro, that's me for my life. I'm going to say what's going to happen. And the Lord is going to, because I'm going to move in faith after that. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if I feel like what you're saying does not line up with my faith, you know what I mean? Like, it could sound stupid to you, but guess what? I'm going to continue and I'm going to be consistent because I believe that this is, you know, that this is going to happen for me.
Amen.
I think that's where and I mean, in fact, going off of what you said, like if I were to counter and just talk about like wanting to allow myself to be receptive to feedback to be able to filter it out more, I would just continue, at least at this juncture in my life, continue to pray for discernment.
Absolutely.
Because I never know where a good idea comes from, so I don't want to be so insulated that I'm not like able to stumble upon a good idea. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to stumble upon a good idea, and unfortunately, like that hard work is for me and whomever is like working with me on whatever endeavor to do, and to be able to have conversations, because I'm pretty sure you got to go through 1,000, if not 1,000,000 bad ideas to get to the right one. So with that being said, like, please bring them on. Bring on your feedback. Because, like, there's going to be, like, life is a buffet, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to, like, cherry pick a little bit from this person's feedback that, like, majority of their sentence was, like, horrible, but at least one thing they said, like, had some point that I might throw into my notes category. The couple was a fraction of someone else's point.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like, all of that will come together in a gumbo to make, like, you know, my idea be more robust than I would have thought in the beginning.
The word robust.
I was on the food analogy.
Yes.
Nah, you with it.
Yes.
But I think, you know, I mean, you know, but just in not a lot, I think, you know, I think the message probably would be to keep going in terms of, you know what I mean, like how do we deal with our dream killers, is to not quit because of what, you know, because of what somebody may think or because of what they may say or that it doesn't make sense to them. Like, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're going to have to persevere. Whether, you know what I'm saying, like whether it's sports, whether it's science, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be, you know, the mayor, if it, you know what I mean, all of that stuff, it requires a certain level of what my dad will call stick-to-itiveness to be able to, you know, to be able to pull that off. Like, yo, the company that came up with a 409, like it's called 409 because the previous 408 mixtures did not work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it, you know, if they, I'm pretty sure, like, yo, when you get to 350, when you get to 357, like, what makes you not quit? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, there's probably scientists there that was like, yo, yeah, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, but the person whose idea was like, nah, I'm gonna continue until I get it right, and they eventually did.
I mean, that's scientists. Like, that's also, for my Disney fans, Lilo and Stitch. Was experiment 626.
That's right.
Like, my man's went through 625 experiments before he got to Stitch. Like,
yeah.
And then, like, it's definitely gonna take persistency and consistent. And it's not gonna be perfect. It's not always gonna go the way you want it to go. And the people, I think the biggest thing for me is understanding that not everybody that you want to be along for the ride is going to make the trip. Like, whether they just can't make the trip or because they're not supposed to. Like,